What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Darkest Dungeon. My name is Splattercat, your host, as we dive on in and I guess go into some Darkest Dungeon. We're going to dungeon crawl today. Although in my experience, I don't think that crawling through the dungeon is the best way to keep your shirt or your pants clean. So wear something you don't care about when you go into the dungeon, because chances are probably going to get ruined. There's a dead guy over there. Actually, no, there's no dead guys. He seems to think it's pretty hilarious that people have died, though. I don't know. He hasn't let me in on the joke yet. I asked, but he really didn't want to extrapolate. And I'm like, well, that's fine. I mean, you can extrapolate if you want, but I don't need answers right now. The Wizened Hag. We can get the Book of Sanity. That'd be pretty cool. Where's my book at? My Book of Intuition. Way better than the Book of Outtuition, because that one is definitely going to cost you some money. If you're out tuition, you definitely aren't going to class this semester. We got Worry Stones over here. That one's for virtue, stress damage. That's not a terrible item. I don't know if I want to do a little shorty today or what I want to do. We can't do mediums yet because we don't have people ready. We're kind of in that beginning phase of the game where actually if you want to get to this phase the quickest, all you should do is run shorts over and over and over again. Because the shorts tend to be over in like 7 or 8 minutes, and if you can just burn through them real fast, it only takes like, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 short missions to get somebody up to level 3. Doesn't take that many. Nominal. Ready to go back into the dungeon. We're going to sit Dizzy D off to the side because we're going to need him for fighting bosses. What I like to do is get people right up to the edge of level 3. When you hit level 3, you can no longer go into green missions. When you hit level 5, you can no longer go into yellow missions. So what I like to do is right when they're on the edge, I save them, and then I use one group to clear one boss, and then I start leveling another group of lobies, and when they're all right up next to level 2, I'll have them kill a boss, and by that point, the level 3 group should be almost level 5, so they should go in and kill a yellow boss. And you see what I mean? It's a system. It actually works pretty well. Not like amazingly well, but it's alright. The Grave Robber. That's an all-around buff, so I'll probably go after that. I mean, there are other things that we need here. That's also a really, really good item for somebody that doesn't dodge much. The Bloodthirst Ring makes it so that you don't have to eat any food. It makes your life much, much easier. So it'll increase their HP by a little bit, but it hurts their dodge. So typically you want to put this on a character who doesn't dodge much anyways. Somebody like the Man-at-Arms. Anybody like that really works. People that have, actually he's got 10 dodge, so you'd probably want to put it on. Either you would want to put it on one of your lepers, or you could put it on one of your seekers. Either way, not a terrible item. Not a terrible item. Let's bring a Dogsmith with us. There we go. Go ahead and bring a Dogsmith, and then I should probably... Oh, I don't know. Let's bring Fitzy on this one. We've got somebody... Does he have the stress ability? He does. And he's got the... He gets to hug his dog, and it gives him life back. It's a pretty sweet little ability. It's heartwarming. You see it and you're like, oh, he hugs his doggy and he gets life back. It's a magical ability that only he has. Let's go ahead and upgrade some gear here too. Anybody in the group that hasn't had their steel refined should really do that before I forget to do it again. I think he's our only level 2. No, never mind. We got Pooh Bear over here too. And that'll make it so that she's up to 10 dodge and 34 base HP. Makes her a tad more resilient. Not a bad idea. I don't know whether I like weapons or armor better, because the weapons make you hit a lot harder, and that goes for all your abilities. However, the armor makes it so that you're much less likely to get two-shotted in a turn. And so, you know, you'll have to decide what's better for you. I prefer one. That's not to say there's any right choice right there. I sort of lean towards the fact that I think armor's better because you get dodge, which negates abilities. God, he's a terrible character. He has so many bad traits. What did I do? Like open everything in the dungeon just with him? That's what I must have done. There's no way he has this many things. Oh, man. Although, honestly, they could be a lot worse. Like, I wouldn't care if he got locked in on something like Calm, because he's not a damage-dealing character anyways. Like, he can hit kind of hard, but it doesn't hit that hard. We'll go in on the Nastiest State. We'll go to the Wield, I guess, again, unless the Cove's got something better for us. The Cove has that. I mean, this is a really, really nice item right here for a Grave Robber. So, I'm a little bit torn. Both are a decent idea, and Wield is already leveled up, so we may want to stick with the Ruins for a bit. This little meter fills up right here as you do missions inside of there, and that's how you unlock the bosses. And I think we've been going in a little bit heavily on the Wield. I think like our last 3 or 4 runs have been the Wield, so we'll go ahead and do the Ruins. Let's kid out for a little bit. I apologize If I seem like I'm a little bit slow in the last couple episodes, they're all the same recording session. However, that being said, today has been a long day. Today has been one of those days where you do a lot of stuff in one day, and then at like 8 o'clock at night you look back and you're like, man, I did a lot of stuff today. And you feel kind of proud about it, but then at the same time, you're kind of just like, damn, what a big-ass waste of time. There's not really like a right reaction to the whole thing. I don't think I need the anti-venom in here, so we could probably save ourselves a little bit of cash. Got that. I think we can use that on the sarcophagus, or on the... Yeah, we can use that on the Iron Maiden. I don't think we need anti-venom, though. Yeah, it'll probably be okay. It looks like this one's going to be nice and easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm going to keep the light up at maximum the entire time. Our last run, honestly, was not that profitable. I doubt that this one will be either. It tends to be the medium missions that really, really, really overload me with treasure. So Cry Havoc's pretty good. It's a lot better once you level it a tiny bit. So Cry Havoc 2 and 3 are a lot better than Cry Havoc 1. I think each time you level it, it goes up by 4% chance to work. And then the stress heal goes up by +2. So by level 3, it sits at almost like an 80% chance to work. And then it's an AoE. It hits everybody in the party. So it can be useful. I actually should have somebody... Ooh! Doggy's feeling hungry. I don't know if that's a Scottish whatever or an Irish wolfhound. They both look kind of similar. But it's a big-ass dog. It's a dog you do not want to mess with. It's named that because they used to use it to eat wolves. They'd be like, go, dog. Mess that wolf up. It's messing with my sheep. And the dog would be like, aw, yeah. And then he'd take him out. And that's pretty much a reenactment. Go ahead and stun him on the first turn. We'll get what damage we can done here, but I would rather they not get a turn. 7 damage out right there for the first turn. He's going to take a 15% damage nerf, if you remember correctly. That's one of his little negative traits that he's got going on. Let's see if we can eliminate these guys. On top of that, the Houndmaster is no slouch when it comes to dealing... Ooh. Not a bad blow, but still marginally troublesome. Remember that he's got a shield bash. I actually use this quite a lot. It's a good ability. There's a lot of things that the Man-at-Arms does, and he does none of them exceptionally well. But the things he does do really well are eat damage, and then he's able to rearrange the enemy's line occasionally pretty decently as well. Because what that'll do is he can knock somebody back, and when the next guy steps up, you can knock him back, and so you can just like rotate stuns on people the entire fight. Got a stun stone right there. Might not be a bad item to throw on him. Stun stone will make it so that he's got a +20 modifier to his stun skills, which means... if the enemy has a 100% chance to resist the stun stone. Did I not pick something up back? Oh, we're going backwards. Okay, it was throwing me off. I only brought 1 key. That might not work out so great for us. That might have been an unfortunate mistake. I don't know what the dog biscuit does. I assume... yeah, it was a mistake. I assume the dog biscuit makes your dog like hit for more damage. That's probably what it does. It's not an item that I tend to use very often, so he's got, what's his stun resist? So, for example, since we got +20, that means that his stun resist would now be 5%, assuming he has no internal modifiers that we can't see. I don't really use Bellow very often. I don't really use Accuracy very often. I think it hits everybody in your party. Yeah, it hits everybody in your party. So if you're having accuracy issues or you're up against enemies that are really, really dodgy, it can be a useful thing to have out. Oof, she dodged holy magic. That's unfortunate. However, our magic does have holes in it, so there are places that she can duck on through. That's a female, by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not, but definitely a lady. They don't tell you that one in the game manual, but trust me, it's true. A little bit of damage right there. I was hoping he'd one-shot the second line guy. Didn't get done, though. So, the best laid plans of mouse and men, or mice and men. I don't know if you have to pluralize. It doesn't matter. Tempting Goblet is out, so he's going to spill a drank on our broadswords. Now it's got a stain in it, which is disappointing. I don't like when my broadsword has stains on it, so I'm going to bite him with a dog. That's what he gets. I've always wanted like a badass dog that'll just like rough somebody up, and that's not meant to be punny because, you know, dogs are like rough, rough, rough. What I'm saying is that I would love to have a dog that, like, if somebody came in my house trying to steal shit, the dog was like, hey, where are you from? And the person would just be like, not here. And the dog would be like, that's all I need to know. I was like, take him out. Just spray him all over the walls, and then you come in the morning, your dog just be sitting there like a badass. Just be like, ah, I killed a burglar. I'd be like, good for you, doggy. Good for you. Well done. This is why I keep you around, because you have utility. I should probably at some point... yeah, whatever. That'll do. No, not Axe Blade. How could you? How could you, sir? That might kill him. Yeah, I was going to try and stun him and drag out the fight a little longer, but it's not guaranteed. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Such is life. We don't have any keys, so we can't, like, double the amount of shit we're going to get out of there, unfortunately. I think you get, like, 1 to 3 loots if you don't use a key, and I think you get, like, 2 to 4 or 3 to 4 loots if you do. Basically, it multiplies the amount of loot you get, and it nullifies the chance. Are you bleeding now?
His efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
Ah, you've already got problems. You might as well add another one to the list. I mean, he's already got a ton of these in here, and actually, it raises the chance you can actually lock something. I shouldn't say actually so much, but it'll raise the chance that you lock something that's not quite as detrimental. And so there can be a strategy to loading your characters up with shitty debuffs. Because a shitty debuff, they're going to get debuffs either way as you play the game. A shitty debuff is way better than some of the really, really nasty ones that can just, like, ruin your life. We got ourselves another surprise attack here. I'll take it. I will take it. Let's go ahead and stun her up so that she can't get me all set up with damage or stress on the next turn. I'll probably do the same thing to him. See how much of their line we can stun for the next turn. Let's send the dogs on her. Should be able to get rid of her pretty soon. Oh, we wiped out the front line right there. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And that lines us up for the next turn to be able to AoE both of them down simultaneously. That'll slide him. Actually, no, it won't because the corpses will be there. I'm relying on the... Ow, you caught... See, the dog didn't block that one, though. He didn't pull a Fable and save my life. That's why the dog is not my favorite. Like, he's cool, but he's not my favorite. He didn't pull a Fable and save me, so... If he really wants to be my buddy, he needs to jump in front of that round. Just be like, "Boor," and then I gotta go on an epic quest to bring back my dog, which, by the way, I was really upset about that the first time I played it. That was one of those traumatic experiences for me where I was like, I don't want to play video games anymore. I think I might be done with gaming forever. They're only getting 3 stress back, so technically you're probably not going to be able to offset much here. That gets a lot better as you level it. It starts out kind of dookie, and then just be aware that it gets better as time goes along. A lot better. It goes from being a marginal ability to being like one of those abilities that's a mainstay in your party that in every way rivals the abilities that like the Jester uses, for example. Let's go see if we can stun him up real fast. So there's a stun. That'll give me a turn or two to clear out the corpses in the front. Keep setting ourselves up for some stress heals. I'm going to have you AoE those and drag him up to the front so that he no longer has the ability to really sort of ruin my life here. With the plus 20 to stun skill, I bet we can still fish out a stun. Oh, man. It was a 30% chance to resist, and he got it done. Hopefully we don't eat any crits right there, because that would suck. And I'm trying to buy time here. Ooh, it only affected her. That sucks. Okay, keep shield bashing. I'm going to keep attacking him so that the game doesn't think that I'm stalling, but I'm totally stalling right now, so shh, don't tell it. The console is listening. Oh, we're done here. Okay.
This momentum. Push on to the task's end.
So instead of Thanatophobia, he lost that and he took Calm. Or I'm sorry, he lost Calm and then he took Thanatophobia. So he swapped out one ability. They were both kind of irritating. It was minus 15 damage on the first turn. Or plus 20 stress damage, plus 20% stress damage if he's below 50% health. Not a terrible debuff. That one's livable. Especially if you got stress reduction going on. If that was our last room fight, who's got the best trap disarm chance here? Dog Boy? Well, Dog Boy, I gave you a shot, and look what you did.
That such missteps are the exception, and not the rule.
That's unfortunate. I'll probably let him go as soon as I find a replacement. He's not leveled enough to really make up for the fact that he has so many issues, and he's gotten almost no positive quirks. So he might be one of those characters that's bound for the trash wagon. Let's feed our doggy friend for a moment. No scout check here, which is a little bit of a downer. I'm hoping we end up with a few more fights. That'll allow us to get a little bit more cash. See, whenever you eat, it seems to do some kind of internal check. I don't know if it's done room by room or what here. You just do it again. Volumes are desiccated and unfortunately unremarkable. Nah, it's just a buff. That sucks. Sometimes I think you can lose a positive, or I'm sorry, I think you can lose a negative quirk right there. That would have been one of the few things that would save him from the trash cart, but he's probably gone after this one. It's going to take us a pretty considerable amount of money just to get him back and up to speed. And it's usually better just to re-roll another one and just hope that he does better next time. That's one of the reasons why the game can be so long-winded, in all honesty, is that the game can be very repetitive for just that reason. You want to get the perfect cast of characters with the perfect skills and things like that because the end game is unfair. And when the end game is unfair, you want to stack the cards in your favor as much as you can. The worms, unfortunately, were not packing much cash. A little bit of a downer. Little bit more loot. Got some emeralds in there, so that seems pretty good. One more hallway to investigate. I'm hoping we end up with at least a little more loot because we have not had the best run when it comes to cash. You can force the game to do a lot better by letting the light level go down, and that might have been wise, but I was interested in holding on to the Houndmaster, and I was interested in holding on to at least these three. He's really the only one that's kind of expendable right now. I could keep him or I could get rid of him. I'm sure it's considered crass or at least somewhat indelicate to talk about it right in front of him, but he's a veteran. He'll be fine. Look at him. Look at this guy. This guy doesn't have feelings to hurt, I don't think. He doesn't strike me as being a soft and cuddly individual. He seems to be the kind of guy that will leave your teeth, make you spit them chiclets if you give him some rough lip. We're done. Let's get up and out of here. A quick run. We got what we wanted out of it. All I really wanted was the quickening satchel. Let's go ahead and figure out. He got Wheeled Adventurer. He took Curious, which replaced Winded. He got Diurnal, which is one of those ones that you hope locks because it's not that bad. Fear of Beasts can be troublesome, but she's a healer, so most of the time she's going to be spamming out heals anyways. Oh, now what do we want to do? Let's go ahead and check the cart first.
End to my folly, and a curse upon us all.
Those two are locked. Yeah, I'll probably send him on his way.
This one has become vestigial, useless.
What do we have in here? Ah, we got another bounty hunter, so that'll work. Kind of a second, third line character that you can rely on. Got more than enough occultists. We've got jesters coming out of our ears. So I don't think we're going to need too many more jesters. He does. I could actually get rid of this jester and take... either way, I'm going to have to buy an ability on both of them, so... it's not worth the effort. Not worth the effort. Wait, I can't afford anything up in here, can I? Hold on, let's go back. I was gonna say it's glowing at me, so I thought since it was blinking, I looked down at my deeds and my crest, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't have the right stuff to get this done. Got crests coming out of our damn ears, so let's go ahead and reduce some trinket costs down by a little bit. I almost never buy trinkets, but every now and again, you'll see a trinket in here, and you'll be like, ooh, I want that one, and you'll feel your heart throb for whatever it is. Let's set up. We got prayers. He probably needs something. Actually, did I upgrade prayers here? What did I upgrade? Oh, the prayers are pretty strong, so let's go ahead and use those. Those guys are both ready to go. We'll get them all cleaned up. It may be time to start working on diseases over here, too. She's got rabies, which is a pretty considerable debuff, so I'll work on that. That leaves me with no religious healers, which means that the next run... didn't I have an abomination in here somewhere? Damn, I was going to take the abomination on my next run. But it looked like we don't have one, so what are you going to do?
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Doesn't look like we've picked up anything in here. Every now and again what'll happen is while you're playing through, you'll get like these little snippets you can click on, and they either give you like a little animation, or they'll give you basically like an excerpt from his journal of like all the things that he did while he was trying to dig down into the ground. Kind of interesting. Some people like it more than others. Doesn't really affect me that much. We've also got access to the Survivalist. Survivalist is another character that you're going to dump a ton of crests into. And what she allows you to do is actually buy different abilities. So if you're not a big fan of the abilities that... if you're not a big fan of the abilities that you've currently rolled, like Mockery is not so good. Mockery is only really worth it if... well, honestly, I don't think Mockery is ever really quite worth it. It's a trade. I would probably take Wound Care and Encourage, drop that, and then I would take... Turn back time would probably be a pretty good one. He's got some really, really solid stress reduction abilities. But for right now, we're out of time. I don't think I have time to run another dungeon before this is going to be up and over with. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here for the next episode of Darkest Dungeon. It's always fun. I will see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Hi-do.